This podcast may contain adult language, adult situations, spoilers, and some brief nudity, so parental guidance is suggested.
We have such sights to show you.
After about 5 minutes of this movie, you're gonna wish you had 10 beers.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Oh, well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
Welcome back to the Cinema Recall Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cinema Recall Podcast. I am your host, The Vern. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Check it out. I got new posters in the background here. Very cool stuff here, folks. All right, so that's my new thing. I am here today with the director of a trippy new psychedelic jungle thriller called Wetiko. It is the writer and director, Kerry Mondragon. Hello, Kerry.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
I am absolutely happy that you are here to talk about this wild feature. But before we begin, I did some research on you before we began, and I saw that you worked with Spike Lee on one of his features.
Yeah.
And can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So basically, like I was working at an ad agency. Like I always knew I wanted to be a filmmaker, but like I didn't get good grades enough to like go to like film school, or it just wasn't I didn't have the means to do that. But I saw this opportunity in 2012. I was working at an ad agency and I was kind of line producing at that point. And then when I saw this, it was during the crowdfunding era. Like, I think Jim Jarmusch did one, and then so Spike was doing one, and so on Kickstarter, and I reached out and I said, hey, I don't have any money, but like I'll fly out there and work local, and I overly promised. I said, I'm a line producer. I can line produce this film for you, and then so like the next morning I woke up to a phone to a like message, and it said like, yo, this is Spike. Your offer is very interesting. Give me a call back. And then, and so I called him back and then talked to him very briefly. And then he goes, I think cause he was sussing me out, and he goes, basically saying like, I don't know if this dude can line produce, but he might be able to do something. So he said, look, talk to Jason, the producer. And then he put me in touch with the producer. Anyway, long story short, they ended up, I ended up working as his assistant on that film. It was called The Sweet Blood of Jesus, which was it was a remake of a Ganja and Hess film from the 60s. And yeah, it was just, it's interesting. It was right up in the budget kind of range actually this last film I just did, where, so it was low budget, but it was like, I learned so much from it. Yeah, it was incredible.
Was that like your first time working on a narrative film? Was with Spike Lee?
On a narrative film, yes. On actually, yeah. Like I had done shorts or commercials, big commercials, stuff like that. But the protocol and all that of a narrative film, I mean, like I was thrown right into the fire, and also it was like, it was boot camp. I mean, it was not like a joyride for sure. Like at first, I mean, it was like, I mean, there were hilarious moments like that I look back on, but like, of how naive I was about certain things, but he had his legendary team there. He had Big Mike from Do the Right Thing. He had Ruth Carter, from the amazing costume designer, who was working on all of his films, won Academy Award, Black Panther. So is all the legends, right? Like his core team, and it was, so I got to learn a lot from them, and especially the first AD, Big Mike, was like, man, he taught me a lot too about just like, he was like, no bullshit, just like you might be fired today, you might be fired tomorrow, you might be fired the next day, but but if you can stick it through, then it is what it, but like, just don't talk much, listen more, and just do, blah, blah. And then, and then when I started working with Spike, like, I remember the first shot, or the first time we was walking, he goes, "They gave you walkie?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Give me that." He takes that. He goes, and like a couple of days, he had like maybe a week later, then he gave it back. He wanted to make sure that like I knew what I was doing with that thing before. Yeah, it was great though.
Well, yeah, I mean, to actually be in a film, like you said, be in a boot camp, there's not a better boot camp than to work with Spike Lee
Yes.
on one of his features of the team right there. That's got to be a hell of a learning experience. And what was your like main duties on that feature?
It was his assistant. So I was assisting him.
Okay.
Day to day. Like they were just at the last 2 or 3 weeks of prep. So there were, arranging like when he would do the rehearsals with the actors in rooms, to, get in the room, to everything from that to like, he's got his own way of working with some stuff. Like even like I remember like Kerry, you got to buy these Veladoras candles, and make sure that they're lit in front of the 40 acre, in like in front of each of the doors or whatever. So he had it was like I was learning all his process, and then he was working with his storyboard art. But then he did incredible stuff too. He's like, "Hey, I got nothing for you today, and I can't go to NYU to do the class, but I'm sending Barry Brown, my editor, to teach that today. So you should just go with him, and you'll fucking learn a lot." And so I went I got to sit in on like this, MF, like, like the guy that edited Do the Right Thing and shit. It was cool. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. And so I have to ask you this, Kerry, what sort of like drove you to want to become a filmmaker yourself and tell your own stories? What were your influences growing up?
Well, it was, my influences growing up were mainly poetry and so I guess just artistic expression in general, like, still to this day, it's not necessarily film. It's like, it's just that I just get happiness from, even if nobody sees it, from, just like in my notebooks, you know what I mean? Like I like, I'll just write stuff and it, and that idea of express and film is to me it's like the ultimate of form of expression, but it also is, it involves all of it. It's like, it involves imagery. It involves so many all the art, almost all the art, the music, the like, painting, like all of it is like there, right? And sound and human beings, right? So it's like it's all of that, and poetry, it's like all there, right? So like the writing and so that to me was like the most expressive I could be. Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, was your main goal to always end up telling like a longer form narrative feature, or were you like, I'm gonna try doing some shorts first or things like that? I was trying to understand the process of going like documentaries to there.
Yeah, like it was my dream, obviously, but I didn't come from I grew up in Arizona, not from a wealthy family by any means, and so it was, like I said, didn't go to college, or dropped out of like community college or whatever. But like, so I knew it was a dream, right? But I knew how hard it was, like to even break in, right? So like, but I did. So I did do a short, and then I think I did 2 shorts, and then on when I wrote Tiger, or actually I didn't. I just wrote the beginning of it, and I went and met with an actress, and I'll never forget it. She said, "Kerry, this is great. This is incredible. Like, but why don't you just write like whatever money you have right now, like just write the rest of it and just go out and shoot it and make a feature, because the feature is gonna be whatever it is, it'll at least allow you to have completed a feature film, and so I did that. So I took a bet on that, and that was Tiger, and I did that. Yeah.
So for your first feature, Tiger, did you fund everything yourself with that, or
Yeah.
how did you get funding for that feature?
Yeah, like I had stacked up some money from some commercial jobs, and then I basically had like $42,000 in the bank technically, and like, even though, when you're making offers to actors and stuff and dealing with lawyers and all this, there's just proof of funds things, and I would just kind of maybe took that like kind of Werner Herzog style approach of just like, yes, it's fully funded. We're moving forward. It's going to be an adventure. It's going to be living in Slab City. You guys look that up, you know what it is. And so we ended up, but I think there's something magical about, I don't know who told me that. I think it might have even been Spike that said, like, if you set a shoot date, like if you just say you're shooting on that date, like magical doors will open up to make that happen. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, like I did. I was just firm on it. 42,000. I was like, I don't know how the hell I'll pull this off, but we started, and then as we progressed, for example, like week 2, we shot at a pharmacy. We lost location. We had to drive around Brawley for pharmacy, and then I shoot in the pharmacy, and then, which is hard. It's like hard to get even, like it's like shooting at a bank basically. And the guy was so cool, and his name is Shane. And after he said, "Hey man, do you guys need any like investors on this?" And I go, "Oh, dude," I was like, "We're literally out of money right now." so then the pharmacist, so Shane, our pharmacist, became my first investor. So then that kept it going. You know what I mean? So it's like this very, very beautiful thing, but it's risky, uncertain. Yeah.
That's so cool to hear that you found someone for a location of movie and that person became an investor. And it's because it's how you meet and all these things kind of come together.
Yeah.
Who you're being involved with that. I found it to be absolutely great. And I love what you said too about setting dates for where you're shooting and having actually a goal plan. And also what you're saying there too about filmmakers with their shooting for commercials or documentaries, hold on to that money. Because, you gotta show you can actually do the things that you do. You can't just like have a camera and be like, I got this dream. You actually have to have a plan. You have to write things out, and your budget money right there. That is very cool. Well, we're here today to talk about Wetiko, your second feature. And right now, I just gotta play just a little clip trailer of the feature. Enjoy.
Welcome, star beings, to our empire of love. After surrendering to this infinite force, the Toad showed me such a powerful whiteout experience. It was so powerful, it opened portals of remembrance and the interfaith. There simply is no language that can accurately articulate such an escalation in consciousness. Much of the union that you will experience here will be integrated psychologically, and you will start manifesting in beautiful, mysterious ways simply by virtue of being. And when the veil is ripped away and all these egos shatter into infinitesimal particles of ethereal light pulsations, it will be beautiful.
All right. You just saw the trailer for Wetiko, and if you felt a little bit lost and kind of confused, it's okay. All right. Because I did too. Not gonna lie, when I first watched this, it is a very surreal movie, and I don't know if I'm going to be telling it correctly here, but it's about this young. Actually, I feel better. Kerry, why don't you explain just the general premise of the movie to us?
Yeah, like the
Yes,
sort of,
yes.
yeah, like the log line or whatever. It's basically about a young Maya Maya boy, young Maya man who's like, he's in between two cultures. He's living in the city, but he's like uh in between the culture there, and he's working at his mom's pet shop, and he gets a customer who wants to rent very specific Colorado River toads, bufo toads, um, and have them delivered to a ritual in the jungle that night that they're having, and so he he takes the money. She pays some good money for it, and then he heads out there into the jungle, and it turns out to be uh, it's a ritual that's run on a compound by a white cult leader with a lot of basically all these influencers on with where he's got control over this Maya family, and it is takes place in 24 hours. So he's stuck there for 20. He's trying to escape with the toads, basically. Yeah,
And then
that's pretty
crazy
much.
things begin to happen in what he gets there. Especially when he does meet the shaman Zaski Sesko, played by Neil Sandilands, who I thought was really good in this. Like, he is medicine and like so
So good, yeah.
charismatic. I got somewhat like vibes of like Charles Manson and his like disciples. Like,
Yeah, he had such he brought something so unique and special. It was almost like I hadn't it, that's what I loved. It wasn't a caricature cult leader. He brought his own element in there, which was like, look, it's also the thing of like what he I imagined that character be. It's like he went in there probably with a good purpose. Like, I see something beautiful with these Maya people, with the Maya when they're beautiful. All of these influencers are just plastic and just they're just blah blah blah, and I want to connect to the real source, right? So like going into that, right, which is very similar to me, is literally why I went out there. Was like, I want to find something real, spiritually, not this plastic Tulum world of whatever. Like, and 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 I think that like all cult leaders, or some of them, then the greed comes in, and all the other stuff happens. And so our story takes place when it's at its, yeah, he's
he's
kind of
like in
lost
there, right there.
his mind a bit.
And then I have to
Yeah.
mention the other cast members too. We have, and I apologize if I messed up the pronunciations of these. Dahlia Juarcote as
Uh,
Luz, sorry.
yeah, as Luz, yeah.
Barbara De Regelli as Goddess Sasha,
Barbara
and
Raheel.
our star, the young delivery boy April, played by Juan Daniel Garcia Trevino. How did you find
Yep.
these cast members? And I'm gonna start first of all. Go back to Neil Sandilands as Zesio. How did you find him? Neil, yes.
You mean Neil? Well, Neil was it was after I got first. It was Dahlia. So what happened was, because I thought I was gonna shoot it on a shoestring budget, so I wasn't shooting for the stars, but really Dahlia from the beginning kind of like provided the inspiration to actually want to go out and do it, because I had done a interview with this magazine, Remslika or something. It was for Tiger, because it was being released that time. And then I saw on there that there was this like Azteca punk band, and in there was this woman Dahlia, and I was like, this is incredible. Like, this woman is um like I just want to make a movie like with her. And so it started with that. So like I ended up reaching out and saying, hey, I'm gonna make a movie out here. I don't know what it is yet, but I want to just reach out to you guys, and so it started with that, and then I saw a film. Then it was to search after I wrote it. It was searching for the right Apple, and that was so critical. And it was like, and magically, like this film, Ya no estoy aquí, which is, it was released domestically too on Netflix. It's called I'm No Longer There, or I'm No Longer Here. It's an incredible film. And Danny was the lead in that film, and it takes place in Monterey, but like they found him, the director found him on the streets working as like a construction welder, as like a welder. He grew up basically off the streets, and so it was his first film, and so when I watched it, I said, I have to, like, I won't make the movie unless we cast him. And so then we ended up reaching out, and like his manager at the time, Adriana, she was so cool, and like we just got connected, and then he signed on, and then Neil came along. It was I had to get a casting director, because SAG, although they don't claim this online, they say, long story short, if it's an under $2 million film, they will not send any SAG actors out to Mexico or in the jungle or whatever, wherever we're at. But we found a loophole, which was, if you're born outside of the United States, then they can't enforce that on you. So technically, so it's non-union. So he was able to work non-union on it, so anyway, we were going after that, but the casting director was like, I already have the guy. It's Neil. Like, you have to talk to Neil. And so it was before Sweet Tooth, but I had seen his other work, and I talked to him on the phone, and or over Zoom, I cast him right there, man. He got it. He was like,
Kerry, when you get these actors together and they all agree on the script, do you actually do rehearsal periods? Do you actually just shoot everything there in the jungle, or like, what was the pre-production of this movie like?
It was very collaborative as far as the script and dial and character, but it was very specific as far as shots and storyboarding. So that just based on the film, the economics of film. It was the first time I had to storyboard. I had to get into that process, because my first film I did not storyboard at all. This one I did. I had to really think through each shot, edit in my head, and then with the actors, because Danny only speaks Spanish, Neil speaks English and Afrikaans. The Maya family only speaks Maya Yucateca, which is its own, and some of them speak Spanish. So we had to have this collaboration. We had to have a lot of collaborative stuff happening and Neil was incredible with it. He was like, Kerry, what if, it's like he understands everything I'm saying, but he just doesn't respond in English because he doesn't want to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, the way we kind of had it work was, it worked actually really well, and because it added to the confusion of where Apple knows that this guy's sketchy. You might not understand everything he's saying, but he's feeling something dangerous about him, and you know what I mean? And so it added to that. Yeah.
And as a audience member watching it, you know that this guy is like sketchy, but he's saying like positive things to Apple, or you can buy into, or he's like buying into the lies that Zasco is saying. And we get to be kind of like confused and intrigued by it as well. And not only him, but I found that character Luz, to also be somewhat manipulative, almost like she's like a femme fatale, because she's the one that's like coercing our young protagonist to stay around.
That's so cool.
He sees this very beautiful woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool that you picked up.
Yeah, he sees this beautiful woman in the lake, and he's like, "Well, I want to be more around this," even though he knows that this is a dangerous thing, and these might be dangerous people. Hey, the heart sees a beautiful woman, and love what he loves. I guess
you hit. I mean, I'm so glad you picked up on that. It's. I had a lot of conversations with Dahlia about this. It's essentially boils down, like in Mexico, it would be she's the Malinche. She was, when Cortez came, he married, I believe it was Aztec, or it was a Maya from one of the tribes. He immediately married her, and then she was the one that could communicate to all the tribes that he went and conquered along the way. And so, so there's other cases of that in the world. The Epstein woman, whatever, Maxine or Jocelyn, like that sort of the one that lures, makes them feel comfortable coming in, and then so they can pour the poison down later. That is her, but she's also not good or bad. It's like she's just, look, and it's based on, yeah, I mean there's like in the film there are real of these people that that are in the film, but I won't like call them out, but they have a magic about them of like where they can cross the Westerner, they can connect the Westerners with the land and secure these land transactions, or they're the bridge, right? And I think that it's usually involves, beautiful women, beautiful women. Yeah, I didn't really see any like beautiful men in that role. They might exist, but yeah. So it was very much a thing. Yeah, and like I would get invited to those things too, like and it's like super alluring, right?
Sure. And I also got the major vibes when watching it, even though it's a completely different story. Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Where our lead character is sort of like Alice going through the looking glass, and all these other characters kind of show up there. I mean, we almost have Jordan Barrett as like Frankie, kind of almost being the white rabbit in a way. And
there actually is a white rabbit where she's she's holding that white rabbit, but then there's also the whole phone situation where she's and he's running after the phone down into the cave, into the cavern. Yeah, you're right. That's very. I never really thought about that, but yeah, you're right.
And then we have our Zesco person kind of being the Mad Hatter.
Yes.
The group in a way right there. And I know I mentioned in my written review, I mentioned movies such as like Wait and Fright, and I also got some like vibes of like Giallo features as well, and other like paranoia 70s features. But yeah, I think that Alice in Wonderland, now I'm thinking about it, it just seems to fit very well, and he's being exposed to all these different people. Now, where'd you shoot this?
We shot it in outside of Koba. So if you were to go to Tulum, you'd go about an hour and a half into the jungle south, and then down another long road into where the Maya family lives, which is off. It's like it would be it's like tribal land here. It would be considered tribal land here in America, but that's where they lived for generations. Yeah, in that.
Did you have to get special permits to shoot there, or
you got to get a fixer? What's called a fixer? A fixer is somebody who basically deals with the negotiations of shooting, paying people off, whatever it is. But we had to get we did have to get the blessing of the governor of the mayor of Tulum, and because of the police scene, because we wanted to use the police. and that was the only kind of little terrifying thing a little bit for me, because there was a lot of activity, there was a lot of narco activity happening during that time there, and so it was but yeah, I remember like in the room, and I don't even think he looked up, and he was just like, so you want to use 2 police officers? He said, okay. Okay, you shooting a movie? Sounds good. Okay, I'll send 2 out. And that was it. And so we were like, okay, cool. Like we're good to go. Like, and then with the Maya family, it was much, everything was just human. It was, everybody's paid cash, by one ATM in Tulum that we would have to send people down to get cash for. The family wanted another palapa built. So we built that, for them. They also were hired on to
Sure.
help with for food, for hanging lights in trees. I mean we hired the whole the whole family was hired, yeah. Paid and hired, yeah.
So they worked on the film. They were the crew members, like set up lights and shots and everything.
Yeah,
too.
because
that's amazing.
because we had a lot of crew from Mexico City coming in, and they're like, man, we can't climb up that tree. And like, then you have, all the Maya who grew up and they are wearing no shoes, and they'll just literally like hop up there within like 5 seconds, hang a light, and so yeah, like so we ended up.
That's so cool. Your film is shot by Carlos Gerardo Garcia, and I think the cinematography in this movie is really good. I heard you shot it on 16 millimeter film. Thank you for doing that. Tell me about shooting your film on film in a jungle area.
Yeah, and it was the first time I worked with Carlos. My previous DP, Ben, who I worked on my just this last film right now. But in Mexico, yeah, it was the first time I worked with Carlos, and I think I reached out to him before about doing a DCP or something for Tiger. It was something that connected us, and I saw his reel, and I saw that he shot mainly on film, and we started talking, and he got the vision of it, and he yeah, we really just started kind of diving in and prepping it, and he helped a lot with like the production designer, Felipe, like they were just or even like the toad handler, Mancho, man, I loved him, and he like it was a group of they all worked really well together, right? And they all saw what I kind of was envisioning, and the color palettes and everything. So it all worked out really well, and I think, but yeah, it was challenging as shit because Kodak. It was hard getting film out there. Like, I don't know exactly why they didn't deliver the second batch, but something happened where like we had ordered it and then it didn't come, and so like I remember Carlos, we were shooting, and he was like, "Oh, Kerry, so we don't have any film tomorrow, so just so you know, so we probably, what do we take a day off?" And I go, and then so we'd like talk, and then we ended up sending PAs out to Mexico City to the film schools to find cans of Kodak that we could. Then they flew back, and then we shot the next day with those cans. So
that is amazing, all the stuff that happens during the shoot of this, because each day, and people don't know this, each day when a movie's being made, it costs money.
Oh yeah.
So to lose any days is going to cost the production, the people you hired on to put together scenes for a set or sets for a scene. Yeah, so to have people fly back and forth to get filming, people are waiting, trying to do a shot, and it's just takes so much time. And I'm so thankful, because what I appreciate the most about this movie, Kerry, is that it has this documentary feel to it that's also like a narrative. So even if like me being like a regular person watching this, I almost felt like I was watching a real documentary about this guy delivering these frauds to the center for this thing happening, and then some crazy shit happens, and he's trying to escape this murderous cult in a way, and it's just a very wild ride for sure. And I think the fact that it's shot on film, it has like this feel of like being in the 70s. In fact, I thought, is this movie set in the 70s? No, it's believe not, but it has that feel of being set in that time period. I greatly appreciate that very much. It very much reminded me of the same style that Anna Biller used on The Love Witch.
That's so cool. Yeah, because she actually used her production designer on my last film because so me and her are must have very similar aesthetics because anyway, but you're right. I was really firm about things in the script. I said helicopter, not drone.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like literally it was in caps. Helicopter, not drone. Like as if knowing that production was going to push back on that, probably not a lot, even can't, but we ended up actually having it work out. But yeah, all that was, it was very important because of what you said. Yeah. Like yeah.
It has this timeless quality about it. And that's what I love the most about your film because it's not set in a certain time period. So people could be like, well, is it set today or is it now? I'm like, it's just set in the Sun Bowl. And it doesn't really matter what the time is, which makes the movie, it's not dated.
Yeah, right. Except there's certain things you could pick up on, like for example that Mr. Green and Gucci song, right? There's that drop which I put specifically for that reason of and then there's the cell phone, right? There is the cell phone that has to go, and then so but you're right. It's like it's almost like you just don't quite know. Like that's what I wanted it to feel like something that was unearthed and you didn't really quite know the exact time period. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that could probably date the song, and I had to find this.
I know what it is, a face mask, right?
It's the use of that song from the Tremolos.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
The silence is golden.
Right.
Was that song in the script when you wrote it, or did it come? Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because it silence is golden, and then silencio es oro. It plays at the end, right? So it's the Spanish version of that song plays, and to me that was the theme of the whole thing because, well, one of the themes, which is it could be a long story, but in the Popol Vuh, the Maya origin creation myth story, there's a chapter in there about the false god. He's a seven macaw, they call him. Claims to be the sun. He talks. He's very loud, boisterous, and long story short, he ends up the boy ends up like shooting him off a tree, and then he bites his arm off, and then the elders convince the macaw that they'll fix his beak, but in doing so, they pull out his tongue, they pull out his eyes, and replace them with turquoise, and they keep him alive. And to me, that silence is golden thing is very much like the plant medicine, all the stuff that it consumed him at that point. He cuts his tongue out, and it's like, but they keep him around, which is very Maya style. It's not kill him and it's like, no, let everybody see as an example of what this is. Yeah.
Because there's like his tongue is like spewing all these like horrible things, and now it's gone. Now he can actually be golden. Silence is golden. He doesn't have to speak. He can actually be a better person now. Really, really cool stuff. I have to ask you this too, because I noticed when the movie begins, it has a language that's not subtitled, and you have some languages that are subtitled and some that are not.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, why did you choose to have some be subtitled and some not be?
Well, he made up his own language. Zake made up his own language. And so that language is actually made up from a combination of Neil and Dahlia working together very hard on creating that language.
Okay.
And so they created that language because that's how far he was going with this cult, was that they were that he was gonna create his own language. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I did the reason for that.
uh
I was curious, why was that chosen not to be subtitled?
because I wanted the audience to not know. I purposely did that. Like I know generally what he is saying, but I didn't want. I just wanted it. It was a bigger statement to show this guy, this fucking guy is so thinks he's so entitled that he can create his own language, like, and you know what I mean. And I wanted that statement to come across, like,
Okay.
yeah,
So I imagine you would have put the audience in the same shoes as Apple in a
right.
way to like be sort of like intrigued. Like, wait, there are no subtitles here, so you gotta really pay attention to
Well,
what's
also
being
with me
said.
too, like I even specifically told Neil, I said I don't even want to know what it is sometimes. Like so
Okay.
there were certain things like he would say metaphysica, like there were words where you'd pick up like, okay, I see,
Yeah.
but I still never asked for the full translation of it because to me it was more it's more of a feeling of that especially at the end when he's doing it, you know, that before he cuts his tongue out. I mean, it's like if it was subtitled, it would take away from the feeling of that scene. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't totally expect that because it's the first thing that came out. I'm like, I had to check my subtitles. Like, is something wrong here? Like, is my subtitle thing not on? And then it did say, you know, like it said the name of the language. I'm like, okay, it's not a real language. I'm
I wonder
fine.
what I wonder what the AI auto caption would do with that now, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It would probably like go nuts.
Oh, I don't know. It just says on the subtitles there. It says the name of the cult, and I just forgot to write down the church of.
Oh yeah,
something.
it's like
I'm
the
blanking.
love Empire of Love.
Empire of Love. It does say Empire of Love language. I'm like, okay, now I know that there's a language that's not actually a real language. I can just relax and go with it. And yeah, it's just a really crazy, almost like this surreal adventure movie about this Mayan boy who goes to deliver these frauds. I've never heard of this ceremony where you take these frauds and you have to extract like milk from them
Yeah, like
or
well,
juices from them
yeah, I
to
mean
trip
it's
out.
a yeah, the Bufo. I mean, yeah, it was it's been commodified out there. They have like a Bufo motel. You go check in at like 1:30, get it, you know, you do your experience, you leave, which to me is like really wild, but because it's very potent psychedelic um and it
Okay.
yeah, so I think that so you know I did a lot. I wanted to do, you know, stick true to it. So I actually had the real toads. We had to get them from Mexico City. We had to have somebody drive them down. Like those are real Bufo toads in there, and the uh yeah, very accurate to what it was. Yeah, even I mean even yeah, like even in I mean we didn't it's not in the film, but like there were the same ceremony at the end that we had done a rehearsal of that. Some people actually had were doing it. Yeah.
See, I've never been to any type of like group visionary sessions before. Now I told this before and showed before, I have like dabbled in acid and shrooms before.
Yeah.
But I've never done anything with that where everyone's like in a group. It's usually just me and one other person or two other people, but nothing
I
like
know.
where it's a communal event. And
It's
it looks
yeah.
it looks to be, you know, very like warm and like welcoming. When one of them talks about feeling sick, and that's a good thing, that made me a little bit nervous and concerned for April. Be like, I don't know, buddy.
Well,
She says you're feeling sick, and it's good. I don't know.
well, like what she was saying is like, yeah, that sickness is your ego. You know, you got to get that out of you, right? You're just detoxing your ego,
Mhm.
but really, what had happened, like, it's a very subtle thing, but it's Bromania. So this is a real thing that they do, mainly in Colombia, actually. It's it's Datura is one plant, but there's Vermansia, which is a trumpet. It's those trumpet flowers. You can kind of see them all over actually. But if you were to dry them out and smoke them or grind them into powder and deliver a dose to that, if they were to inhale it, it would, like in Colombia, for example, if they do just the right amount, deliver that dosage to that person can be completely controlled to where they'll say, okay, can you go to the ATM and pull out all the money and bring it back to me? And it's a real thing. It happens like and so that's how he controls people there, is through that.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, but the danger of it is, it's why a lot of shamans do it, is like, if you do too much of it, you go into a really hardcore nightmarish psychedelic thing that you either die or you spend 48 hours in like seeing demons and like horrible stuff. Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would not like it's something I would not even like touch. Yeah.
Sure. And you want to make sure that you have someone there that knows what they're doing, and I think that's why Zesco actually has his not Sasha, Luz go out to try and find a Mayan boy to extract the juices, because I don't think he knows how to do it.
Right. He doesn't know how to do it. But Zake wanted, because he's obsessed with the real stuff, right? He wants that real. And but Apple lied, a combination of, he saw the money opportunity and he also saw the beauty in Dahlia's character. So, she was the kind of the siren,
She was, she's both kind of like the person that was like working for Cisco to try to find this Mayan boy, but then she changes her mind and she wants to become almost like the heroine in a way. And she still has that balance between good and evil in a way right there. It's very kind of like complicated. That's what I appreciated more about movies where you don't necessarily need to like follow protagonist, antagonist type of thing, and there's just different people being involved in this journey, and it's just a wild, crazy, experimental. It's a documentary, it's narrative, it's like horror, it's paranoia thriller.
It's also like an
things
initiation
kind of
too,
wrap
that
into one.
whole idea of you're coming in that 24 hours of like, he's coming in from the city thinking he's badass, cool. Then he gets broken down, humbled, completely surrendered, all the way to dawn, where he's had the spiritual experience. And then he emerges on a shitty moto out to get out of there. So there's symbolism in there. He rides in on a very nice motorcycle that he stole. Then he leaves on just a busted ass one going out. And you know what I mean? So there's a humbling thing where, so it is like that it's almost rite of passage type film too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like him like doing his own like growth. Like it's a coming of age story.
Yeah.
In a way for him.
Yeah, exactly.
He goes there as a boy and leaves as a man.
Yes.
And even watching it, I had the vibes of The Wicker Man.
That's interesting. Yeah. Like Wicker Man, and also Get Out. Maybe there's like a little bit of a Get Out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like like Midsummer in a way, but it ends happier. All right, good things. It doesn't end. It does not end as bleak as those movies do. Bleak things do happen, but it does end on a good note, and it's very uplifting. And he learns from his experience right there, and there's a romance in there too. It ends happily, so I enjoy this feature, and I really love your use of style and the way you shot it, the way it's edited. I love the use of film. I'm looking forward to checking out Tiger, your first feature, and I heard you're working on a new movie right now. Can you tell anything about it?
Yeah, it's called Mascot Land. And, I'm working on it now. I finished the rough cut, but we shot it completely different style. It's definitely got a big cast. Billy Zane, Tyrese Gibson, Jake Busey, Armie Hammer, Leo Fitzpatrick, Felicia Snoop Pearson, it's got Lynn Shay, a lot. It's got a big cast. So,
wow!
But it's centers around two. Oliver Wyman and Blaine Kern are the leads, and we shot it on film again. But even more ambitious, I guess, with shooting it on Ektachrome, which is there's only one stock of that. It's 100 ASA, so that you need a lot of light, and so that's another, and it's also a very hard stock to acquire. So, but
I will say this right now: I know that I have a few theater houses here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, that still projects movies on film. We have at least 2 theater houses that shoots things on film, and when your Mascot Land comes out, or if I can get a film print of Wetiko, I would love to actually screen these.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would love that, man. That would, like totally. Even Joe and the guys here, they're like saying, like, you gotta get it at, get the film prints. We'll get it at New Beverly and the Vista here, but like also out there, any place, I want to.
If I can,
that's why I shot.
Email you later on to give you the names of the projectors and these like movie houses. I would love to do that, just to like keep connection going on there, because I want these films to be shown other places. Awesome. Because I had the screener for this movie, and watching it on my computer screen was fine, but I really want to see this on a bigger screen. Watching this movie on a small TV does not give it any justice at all, because of the subtitles are kind of small. So I'm watching it mainly for like the storyline of it, but I have not had the full experience of watching Wetiko on a big screen. And I really want to be immersed.
I know, and that's the problem with the theater. Yeah, with the theaters, even like when we went to Photochem on this last one, because you can project Ektachrome is you can project it straight from the camp. So like we were projecting what we shot, and it was like a magical thing. I mean, you're seeing literally like the negative run through it because it's reversal stock. So it was like, but seeing it is there's something to it, man, that it's, it doesn't matter digital film, but unconsciously they do, there is something to it, you know what I mean? That's I definitely would love to keep shooting on film. It's hard.
Kerry, this has been a big honor getting to talk to you about this movie and about your other features, and I look forward to where your career is going to go from here, and it's just been a big honor to get to talk to you more and learn more things about your process. And I didn't get a chance to talk to you about your editing bed that you have behind there, your little audio, your editing bed you have there behind you.
Yeah. That's a shout out to Joe DeAgostine. Yeah, he Tiger, but he's edited tons of stuff. Yeah, from Robert Downey Sr. stuff to like Tarantino to and RZA, a lot of RZA's films. So like he's one of those collaborators, just like Ben Mind, where they are so committed to the film, not just the cinematic process of it. You know what I mean? The map is really important right now. Yeah,
it's so fun too to see all these like artists and collaborators working together on things, and everyone just kind of being involved. You're not like being in separate rooms, like sending out files for someone to work on. You're actually kind of like there with the stuff, and absolutely amazing. I'll post links in our show notes for everything that Kerry does online.
I mean, I kind of just opened or like resurrected the Instagram for the film stuff, but so just my first and last name, Kerry Mondragon, is on Instagram. Maybe would be the best. That'll lead to the other stuff. Amazon. I know for sure where it's. And then I got to check in with George again about it, but definitely Amazon June 9th is when it's being released, and then after that streaming, and then after that is going to be the limited edition 500 Blu-ray 2-disc set that we're doing this beautiful, but yeah, so.
Okay. And once I just drop, I'll post links in the show notes about where you can find information about Wetiko and other features that Kerry Mondragon has made. As for Cinema Recall, we are changing things up here, folks. I am slowly dwindling down the podcast section of our show because I'm starting a new podcast and I want to concentrate on doing my the Rotten Truth podcast with Diane Roberts. So the podcast portion of Cinema Recall is dwindling down because I'm going to be doing more of video things on the YouTube. I will probably post some audio portions on our podcast page, over at like Spotify and Good Pods. The best way to keep track of everything new with Cinema Recall is to become a Patreon member. Patreon.com/Cinema Recall Pod. This is where you'll get access to episodes before anyone else does, including this episode here right now. And also, I will be posting more playlists on our Patreon page, so it's easier for people to find past episodes there. I'm still going to be doing written reviews over at cinemarecall.net, and you'll find those on there. But as for the actual podcast, because I'm starting the AV Exchange with my friend Ashley, I still got the Rotten Truth over at Rabbit Hole Podcast. I'm going to do the podcast for those two shows more, and I'll be doing more videos for YouTube. So just keep that in mind. I'm dwindling down the podcast portion of Cinema Recall, but I'm going to be doing more videos for YouTube and that stuff right there. So like I said, check out our past episodes, cinemarecall.net. Type in your search windows, Cinema Recall. Check out my other interviews that I've had, because besides Kerry, I do interview other filmmakers, so check that out over on our playlist on YouTube. Yeah, you can find that same links at their website as well. Find us on social media. We are cinema_recall on Threads and on Twitter, and just find us Cinema Recall Podcast on Instagram. Join our Facebook group Crack on Facebook, Cinema Recall's Awesome Cinematic Club with a K. That is it right now. Big thank you to my guest, Kerry Mondragon, for joining us for this episode. And I hope when you make your next feature, I hope you'll come back.
I was just gonna say, man, yeah. You already got another fan, and I would love to come back and talk to you about.
Love it. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and I will check you later.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.